Gotta love these Christians when they're a lying-ass liar. You're a lying-ass liar. You started out as a lying-ass liar when you first said that 100% of biblical scholars believe that Jesus was a historical character and that the resurrection is true. Now, to say 100% of something already tells me right off the bat that you're a lying-ass liar, because no 100% of scholars accept and believe and agree upon anything. So 100% of scholars do not agree that Jesus was a historical character. The overwhelming majority do. And I think many of them are just afraid to be truthful and honest that he's a literary character and not an actual character. Now, 100% believes that he was resurrected? Oh, you're a lying-ass liar. I can just name Bart Ehrman. I can just name Dan McClellan. There are plenty of biblical scholars who don't. Dr. Ray Hagan, who biblical scholar, who does not agree that the resurrection ever happened. There is actually zero evidence that the resurrection ever happened. And the fact that you claim, to which I don't know if you've ever been there, but I've been there. I went there in 91 and again in 92. But the church that sits on top of Mount Calvary, and then where they have the holes in the ground, and then a few feet over, about 30, 40 feet over, there's this fake ass tomb that they have a big slab. It's not inside of a mountain. It's not on a rock cliff. It's a dome inside of a dome that they have a slab of rock that they claim to be the resting place of Jesus. And if you go on a Protestant tour, that one is more actual because it's actually in an ancient graveyard, but there's actually no proof that that was the tomb of Jesus. People walk in there and be like, oh, Jesus was here. I can feel his power. Oh, I see people doing that, and I laugh now. Then I was a believer, and I believed that I was in the one of those two was Jesus's grave, and I felt the emotion of it all. I went to Bethlehem, and I kneeled in the manger that they built on top of a house that they claimed could possibly be the house of Joseph's parents. And I believed that I was having an experience when I was there. But upon actual research, and you claim in a different comment that you've done 15 years of research, and that 15 years of research while you were an atheist led you over to believe that this is true, shows me that you went into that research looking for validation that you were going to be returned to believing in Jesus. You tricked yourself, because if you believe that that place is actually his tomb, you are lying to yourself. And if he was actually doing research, and you talk about the 500 witnesses that said that they saw Jesus, understand, you're hearing those writings in Paul's writings are saying that Paul was told by another dude, and the other dude heard from the other people that 500 people saw him. That's not eyewitness account. That's a game of telephone. So there is actually no proof of the resurrection. There is no proof of 500 people seeing him. There's no proof of zombies walking around. You know, here's the thing. During the time frame of the Romans being in control of Jerusalem, if Jesus had resurrected and then the righteous people had been walking around through Jerusalem and people saw their family members and all this sort of thing, the Romans would have recorded it. It would have been recorded. Or it would have been recorded by the Jewish people, other Jewish scholars of the day. It would have been recorded by Josephus. It was never recorded by Josephus. It was never recorded by anyone. No historian records resurrected people walking around Jerusalem like they got some walk around money. That was never recorded. These are only things in your Bible. And the Bible in itself can't validate itself. That would be like the Incredible Hulk validating his existence through the writings of the Marvel comics and the Marvel movies. A thing cannot validate itself. No, there must be other things. I feel the wind right now, but the wind doesn't validate itself. It is the fact that I feel the wind. It is that fact that I can see the effects of the wind on the things around me. It is the fact that we can measure the temperature of the wind. We can see the velocity of we can measure the velocity of the wind. That it's measurable. It's definable. Therefore, we can see that the wind is real. But it's not based on the wind itself validating itself, but our ability to measure it that validates it. Your God cannot be measured. because there is nothing that validates your God. And I know, I know, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say the fact that you're breathing, the fact that the earth is here, the fact that if we was this much closer or that further away, we wouldn't exist. The fact that you woke up this morning. The fact that I'm here is a validation that my parents exist and that their parents exist, and then so on and so forth, until we get to a part where we don't know. We have no idea. And then we get to a point where we theorize with common ancestry and some being, and we get to the point where the earth happens to be in the habitable zone. Realize there's a habitable zone. And out of the billions and billions of galaxies, and out of the trillions of stars, that mathematically there would be hundreds of millions of planets in the universe, the known universe, that are in the habitable zone. So being in the habitable zone for our type of life to exist is rare, but not that rare. It's only rare to the sheer number of the volume of galaxies and stars and planets. But in the numbers, hundreds of millions of habitable planets that would fit our type of life, that's a whole hell of a lot. And your God didn't do it. It's a natural thing that happens in the universe. The earth is a natural occurrence in the universe. It is not a miracle for the earth to be here, to be in the habitable zone. It's a natural occurrence. Wrap your mind around that and stop just believing in stuff because a book says so. I always remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.